I heard a great case this morning. You know, couples who rush into marriage are much more likely to break up than people who take the time to get to know each other. The rush to marriage was a real issue for the couple I met today in divorce court.
Divorce court is now in session.
Lisa White and William Smith, the two of you got married after dating for 2 months. Ms. White, you say you got swept off your feet. Mr. Smith, you believe you were brainwashed. So, Mrs. White, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me what you saw in Mr. Smith in those 60 days that made you say, forever until death do we part?
Well, he was a gentleman. He took care of business at first. He sat there and he took care of my kids like they was his own. He provided for the family. He took me out on dates and did everything like a gentleman.
60 days, I mean, anybody can be cool for 60 days. You know what I mean? What?
Well, it wasn't my idea for 60 days exactly. I told him that I wouldn't have sexual intercourse with him unless I was married. I told him that I didn't get the next guy that I was going to have sexual intercourse with, I was going to be married.
Gotcha.
And he popped the question.
Didn't you find that a little suspect?
I did, but he was nice, so I just went
Mr.
along
Smith,
with it.
is that how it happened?
Sound accurate.
But you believe that she somehow duped you into this marriage, that it wasn't really of your own free will.
Yeah, she did because, I mean, she kind of actually, like, arranged all the stuff and everything. I'm like,
How did she arrange it? What did she do?
Well, like...
She walk you by the courthouse and say, hey, let's just dip in here?
Yeah, pretty much. She was like, man, we might as well just gonna be together forever. I was like, I mean, I don't know. It was crazy, but I was like I was ready to move forward in my life. You know, tired of living with my moms. Like, I ain't getting no younger, so I was like, let's try it out.
I was tired of living with my moms, so let's try it out. This was your reasoning behind marrying. It ever occurred to you to live on your own, like?
No, I never lived on my own.
Huh?
No, I never lived on my own before.
You never lived on your own. Do you ever want to? Is that something you would aspire to do?
No. I was working on it, but it didn't happen.
But it doesn't seem that important at this point. You back with Mom?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I don't think he ever gonna live on his own.
You say that Mr. Smith changed completely after you got married. What happened?
He did a 360. He started running off.
He did a 180. 360 would have gotten him back where he was. Just let's get it clear.
He did a 180 because when we was together, when we first started dating, he was doing everything like a gentleman, and then once we got married, he was like a monster. He turned around and run off with cars and.
He run off what?
Run off with cars.
He would run off. Oh, he'd get in the car and run off.
Run off, and go back to his family member's house and just stay there for like months and days. And it was fine with them. They was allowing him to go back and forth between the house and not be an adult. But one incident when he ran off with the car was we were together and we went down to St. Louis University. Well, he got mad. We had an argument, and he got mad and he got out the car and ran through the parking lot. Yeah, so I got out the car and ran with him. And now I'm a big girl. Now you know I ain't gonna catch him. He's a small guy. You know what I'm saying? So when I ran after him, I went back to the car, and when I went back to the car, I tried to open the door. The alarm went off. So now I really got to get the keys because now I'm looking like I'm still in the car. So when I went and chased after him again, he ran back to the car. And when he ran back to the car, he got in the car and sped off and left me there. And when he left me there, he went to the rental car place and dropped the car off there. And I went there, and I couldn't get it because I was a liability. So now I have no way to work.
Mr. Smith, did you make her chase you through a parking lot?
Yes, I did.
And did you run back to the car and take off and leave her there?
She took my card, so I got upset.
And you chased,
right.
and you ran.
Right.
And she chased you.
Right.
Mr. Smith, you say Ms. White has a gambling problem. Why don't you tell me about that?
Yes, she does. And I mean, it's like come rent time, a couple of weeks before rent come around, she talking about she gambling. She came home crying, talking about she don't have no money. And I'm like, well, I don't get paid that much. How we gonna pay the rent? You know what I'm saying? So we was kind of late on rent because she didn't want to pay rent.
Do you gamble away the rent money, Ms. White?
No, ma'am. That is not correct. He gambled. His money is his money, and my money is everybody's money. It's just me, the kids, him, the whole family, everybody. I had to pay off everything. I paid rent. I paid utilities. I paid everything. I paid for his car to get paid off.
Did
You don't contribute at all to your own upkeep?
No, we did. She don't pay all the rent.
No, my question to you is, do you contribute at all to the household bills?
Yes, I was.
What were you giving her?
You mean, was I giving her?
Yeah, every month. Would you give $100?
I mean, we didn't have enough money to do that. I wasn't getting paid that much.
So you weren't contributing
Right,
to the house?
No, I was paying the bills. I didn't have, we couldn't really do anything.
We're not together here. I'm gonna walk down this road one more time, and if we can't get to the end of it, we're just gonna pick another road. Right. How much money do you use monthly towards the household bills?
Like 60%.
60%.
That's a lie. That's a lie. He don't
Give
pay
me
nothing.
a number.
Like 600.
600 a month.
I thought you didn't make that much.
I don't believe you, but that's okay. But that's okay. You believe that Mr. Smith has cheated on you because you found things on social media that would seem to indicate that. Why don't you tell me what you found?
I found pictures. I found messages, sexual messages, what they gonna do to each other. Pictures of him, pictures of her. This is not one, not two, not three. This is about 7 people.
7 different women?
7 different women.
Now, when you say pictures, did everybody have their clothes on?
No.
Did they have any clothes on?
Some pictures.
But not much?
Not much.
Mr. Smith? Care to respond?
That's not true. But I admit that I have, talked to other women on this, obviously because she doesn't want to talk to me, communicate. She hasn't been, talking to communicate with me. So, I mean, that's obviously the reason why I was talking to,
But everybody had clothes on in all the pictures, because you don't have to have your clothes off to talk. There were no pictures, so she made that all up out of whole cloth. Correct. She never saw any pictures of you partially clad with other women. Never happened.
No, I never had any.
I got you.
Yes, he did let them come in and repossess it when I was on my way trying to go pay the bill. I got behind a little bit because I paid everything.
And so they repossessed the bed set, huh?
They repossessed my bed set and I was laying on the floor.
Divorce isn't easy. If you need help with your breakup, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Ms. White, you say that he does something during arguments that precludes you from having any communication. Could you tell me what that is?
Yes, ma'am. We would start having an argument or be in an argument, and he would take his hearing aids out so he wouldn't hear me.
Mr. Smith, would you take your hearing aids out so you don't have to hear the argument?
Yeah, sometimes.
Now, earlier you accused her of not being a good communicator, and you were talking to the other women that you weren't naked with because she wouldn't communicate with you. Now you're telling me that when she does talk to you, you take your hearing aids out. So my question to you is, aren't you the problem with communication and not her?
Very much so.
Sometimes, sometimes I probably am at fault, but not all the time.
Not all the time. Do you agree with her that things changed immediately after you got married?
No, not immediately. Probably about 5 months, somewhere around
5 months. What happened 5 months in?
Well, she started doing stuff like getting the bed set without even talking to me about it.
Explain that to me. What happened?
Well, I come home, she's got a bed set, dresses, and a whole bunch of other stuff, like a 3-4 piece set. And I'm like, dang, you know what I mean? I'm working, you not. What's going on? I can't pay for this and the rent. I mean, you know, we already behind a little bit. But so, I mean, you know, and when the people came, we got the bed set, I let them right on in because I'm like, I ain't paying the dime.
Oh, they repossessed it?
Yeah, they came repossessed it and everything.
What happened with the bed set? Did you buy a bedroom set you couldn't afford and they got repoed?
I bought a bed set and I was working at the time when I bought the bed set. And yes, he did let them come in and repossess it when I was on my way trying to go pay the bill. I got behind a little bit because I paid everything.
And so they repossessed the bed set,
They
huh?
repossessed my bed set and I was laying on the floor.
Sorry, it's not funny. It isn't funny, but it's just the way you said it. You say that Mrs. White will disappear as opposed to dealing with the problems. Why don't you tell me about that?
Sometimes I come home, in the morning, she sometimes not there. I'm like, and then I call her, she's like, she at the other baby daddy's baby mama house. I'm like, what are you doing over there? I mean, we got a house together. I mean, what are you over there for?
So you mean to tell me that when you come home, sometimes she is at the home of one of the fathers of one of her children?
Correct.
Ms. White, are you doing that? Or were you doing that?
I was, due to the kids. Due to the kids. She
So
has
you were
an
just
older
taking the kids
sister.
over there? Well,
Yeah.
why did you have to stay too? Can't you just drop the kids off?
To somebody else's house?
Well, it's their father. You picked him.
No, not the father. He said the father, her other baby daddy, baby mama house. Meaning I was at the.
My fault.
I have a child, and me and the other baby mama share the daddy. Share the daddy. And we got 2 kids, and we bring them together so they can play with each other and all that.
Because they're half brother and sister because they're related through the father.
Correct.
Is the father involved at all?
No, he's way out the picture of her life. Her child is the oldest.
All right. Yeah. Can I say this to you, Mrs. White?
Yes, ma'am.
You need to be a little more discerning when you pick out your men. Do you understand that? You need to. You got a guy. He's, living in his mama's house, don't have much of a job. You've got to say, is this the kind of guy I want to hitch my wagon to? A few nice dates, okay, fine. That means date him next month as well. Doesn't mean have a baby with him. Doesn't mean marry him. It means, you got to watch people before you mix gene pools with them. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know now. I usually win up to $2,000
In an evening?
in the evening.
Is she accurate with that?
Sure don't come home with it at all.
If you would like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Mr. Smith, you say that your sex life was deplorable, that it wasn't any good at all. Explain that to me.
We would always do like maybe 1 or 2 positions,
The same thing, it got old.
Right, same old thing. Yeah, it really did.
Did you try to bring in some new stuff and spice it up?
I mean, yeah, we really, not really. Nope.
Do you have any response to that? I don't want to make you, but
a lot of
but
response
if
to that. If that's the case, then why he still wants some? Ask him that.
No, I won't ask him, but I won't ask him, but we will continue to move on. You two only ended up living together for what, 6 months maybe?
No, to the end of the year.
Till the end of the year.
To the end of the year.
And you've been separated for 2 years.
2 long years.
And you have moved on to other men.
Yes.
And you have moved on to other women.
Somewhat. Yes.
Somewhat, or you just moved back to your mother's house. Is that what happened? You just went home to mom.
I had to.
You had to. Yeah, okay. Now, Ms. White, in your meanderings, do you think that you have made some revelations about what kind of man you should hook up with?
No, not really. but I know I don't want nothing like the previous ones.
Do you know how to find a good one?
To be honest, no.
Yeah. Don't go wherever you've been going. That's the first thing, and I tell that to everybody. You know, you can't find a good, if there's a whole bunch of bad stuff happening in the area, you know, you have to date outside your area. And to date outside your area, you have to date outside your interest zone. It can't be the same old, same old. Okay? You say that you spend a fair amount of time in the casino, no?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Now,
but I win.
You win.
And he lose.
Now, what do you play when you go to the casino?
Blackjack.
And you
Double
win
deck.
a little
I
bit.
win. I can win. I usually win up to $2,000
In an evening?
in the evening.
Is she accurate with that?
Sure don't come home with it at all.
I done came home several times with it.
But do you win more than you lose? Or does it kind of even out in the wash?
It evens out.
It evens out in the
evens
wash.
out.
Now, what are your kids doing while you're gambling? They're little?
Yeah.
Who looks after them?
I get a babysitter.
You get a babysitter so you can go to the casino. You've got
4 kids.
4 kids, a 5-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a 10-month-old.
Correct.
Now, Ms. White, I don't want to, I'm not going to get angry, but I'm going to get serious.
Okay.
Children that age need a lot of attention. They need a lot of care. They need a lot of, and not just put clothes on them and feed them and all of that kind of stuff. You've got to teach them. They've got to be starting. You have to read to them. You have to establish structure and a schedule so when they go to school, they you know what I mean? I thought everybody read at 7:30 at night. I thought that was just like a rule of life, because that's what my parents did with me. I'm just saying, if you got 4 kids that young, you haven't got a whole lot of casino time.
I don't go to the casino. I don't go to the casino that often.
In divorce court, people tell me the most intimate details of their lives. Join the conversation and share your experience on our Twitter page @DivorceCourt and on our Facebook page. See how fans deal with their own relationships. The discussion can get heated. Don't miss it. So this is it. This is the end, correct?
Correct.
You want anything from him as you leave, or see, he's been gone so long, you don't need anything from him. Is that true?
I really don't need anything, but I would have liked my car back that was in his name. It was in his name, but I paid for it. I paid it off.
Do you still have her car that you paid off, that she paid off?
No, it got totaled.
It got totaled?
yes.
What happened to it? You got in an accident?
Yes, somebody hit me.
This is what I'm going to say to you people, and then I'm going to exit stage left. You can't just let your life happen to you. You have to actually make decisions. You have to have goals and directions. You can't just happen to have a kid with somebody, or, well, I'm gonna marry her because I didn't want to stay at my mama's house. You have to have a game plan to get somewhere, or else the river of life will just take you lollygagging down the stream, and you'll be hitting rocks and caverns, and you'll wake up at the end in the middle of Lake Scilly, and you'll never know how you got there. You've got to have some thought going into what you do, not a couple of good dates. Oh, he's going to be a husband. You know what I'm saying? Right. So in the future, when you leave here, do so with some sense of purpose, some sense of decision-making, some sense of you have control over your life as opposed to your life rolling over you. I will say that to you both, wish you the best of luck, and say this matter is adjourned. I think what we've learned from Lisa and William is that if you don't know where you're going, life is going to take you somewhere you never intended to be. Submit your case at divorcecourt.com.